Good morning. Mindset Masterclass. Right, so I have got a little tripod I'm going to put you on for the rest of it, but in a minute I need to flip you around to show you a video. So I'm just going to stand you up against... Right, so I'm going to just compose myself, catch my breath. I've got to do it this way around because I wanted to do it like my desk in the background so you didn't see my kids shouting and hollering in the lounge at each other, but the sun was in the way, so we've had to flip it around this way. Hi Vicky. So yeah, hope everyone's all right. We've just come in from we've been out and walked the dog, and Harry's football training has obviously been cancelled at the minute, so we promised him we'd take him down the field on a Saturday morning just as he would when he was football training. There was no, like, literally we've seen one other person walking their dog and they were more than 2 meters away. So we were all good. Morning, morning. Hi, Lace. Lace, I know you're driving, my love, so we're hey. We're hearting on the go. So, yeah, so basically I've just come in, made my coffee in my Tinkerbell. So I got this when I went to Florida. This is totally channeling Tink's mindset. I'm all about the faith, trust and pixie dust. We did actually buy a nice new coffee machine that arrived yesterday, but we haven't set it up yet, so I will be having myself a nice little posh coffee in a little while after this. Anyway, I digress. So I'll wait a couple of minutes just to see if anyone does come on. Obviously, going forward, the purpose of this 4 days, so Lisa and I were just having a chat last week, and we were like, right, you know, how important is mindset to, not just to your business, but to, like, life in general and the world, especially at the minute. Like, not to talk about, not to highlight what's going on, but, you know, things are different, and we're used to one normal, and we've got to adapt to whatever the new normal is going to be. So in doing that, that takes a strong mindset, and to get you through this next, you know, the period of however long it may be that what we're going through, your mindset is what is going to carry you through. Not only in this period, but carry you through into when it's all finished and we're all calmed down and we're all back to normal, whatever the normal may be. Hi, Rita. Hi, Kada. Your mindset, a strong mindset, is what is going to carry you through in life and in this business. Like we've said, we're not claiming to be scientists, we're not claiming to be experts, but in doing this in, you know, nearly 3 years, so just, some of you might not know me, Lisa will obviously do her introduction when she comes on and does her video tomorrow, but I am Laura. Hello. I know some of you do know me. I've been with Scentsy for 3 years next month, but I've been in network marketing for 5 years because I was with another company for 2 years. So I do feel like I've learned a lot, and I do feel like a strong mindset is something that I do kind of pride myself on. So I do feel that it's a subject that when I'm talking about it, we're not experts, but we're all right. And that's what I mean. We're not experts because if you think that's another thing about having a strong growth mindset, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. If you think you know everything, if you think you're the most intelligent person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to always be growing, always be learning. So we're not claiming to be experts, but all we're doing is sharing our experiences so far and sharing what has worked for us, and what does work in this industry. Like, it's not this, some of this isn't just plucked from the sky. Some of this is facts, and it's what actually does work, and it's what is going to carry you forward and help you. So what we've done, we sat down the other day, not together, not in the same room. We sat down over FaceTime and we brainstormed for about an hour, and we've chosen 4 topics which we're going to talk about every day. Obviously, this isn't going anywhere, this group. This is something that you can then refer back to afterwards. So if you're watching live, amazing, good morning, thank you for joining us. As like we said, we'll be live around this time for the next 4 days. But if you can, then these videos and these references and these YouTube videos that we're going to share with you and stuff, and these talks, they're always going to be here, so you can refer back to them. So, topic for today that we're going to talk about is a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. Now, this might be something that you've never actually thought about. You've never actually, like, be honest with yourself. Morning, Karina. If you actually really sat back and thought about it, and we will YouTube it because Mrs. Allwood has got herself her own YouTube channel. Oh, do you know what? I need to be mindful then if we're YouTubing this of not going out and going, hi, I've been and walked my dog. Which I did, but it's fine. What was I going to say? Hi, Tia. Hi, darling. Yeah, so growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So how many of you, if you were really, really honest with yourself, and it's not something that as humans, as adults, that we probably do until it's something that we're conscious of. How many of you have actually ever sat down? You guys are positivity grown machines. Best people are. Oh, I love you, Kida. Morning late, right, I'm not being rude. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to stop responding to the comments straight away, and I'll come back and respond to them at the end. Is that all right? Because I'll just lose my train of thought, because it's just like I'm chat. So, how many of you actually, if you were honest with yourself, have actually ever sat down and thought, what kind of mindset do I have? So the whole purpose of today and the whole purpose of this first live and the whole purpose of this first session is a bit of self-assessment, a bit of self-reflection, a bit of reality, probably a few truth bombs with yourself, because nobody's perfect, for you to actually look at yourself and be honest. Because if you're not honest, you're never going to grow. If you're not honest with yourself and say, actually, I do things one way, but I want to grow and be able to do things another way. If you're not honest at accepting your flaws and accepting where you might be lacking in certain areas, you're never going to be able to grow and develop into new areas. So the purpose of today is for you to firstly to understand the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Hi, my love. And secondly, so we can help you grow. And if you do feel that you have a fixed mindset, we can help you grow into a growth mindset. So with that in mind, I have found a little YouTube video. It's literally 3 minutes long. I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to play it. And it should, this is why I've sat this way. So hopefully you can see the screen. If I can... Oh, this is an advert. Ignore that. Hang on. Not that one. This was an advert.
There are two types of mindset we can cultivate. One that embraces problems as opportunities to learn, and one that avoids them, often out of fear to fail. People that avoid conflicts can be described as having a fixed mindset. Those who see problems as interesting challenges have a growth mindset. Sometimes we like to switch from one to the other. People have a fixed mindset because they believe that basic qualities like intelligence or talent are fixed traits, and that these traits are responsible for success.
Hang on.
They often like to document past achievements.
That wasn't the one I was looking for, guys. Sorry. That's not the video I found last night. That is not the one. Ah! Right. We need to... Do you know what? This is the beauty of being live and working for yourself. I wrote down the name of the guy. That's not the video I wanted you to watch because I didn't think it explained it very well. So the one I want you to watch is by a guy called John Spencer. So let me find his. So yeah, so if you are just joining us, it was just to explain the purpose of today is we're going to be looking at a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. We're going to make you address, what you feel that you have. Here we go.
Researcher and Professor Carol Dweck
This is the one.
uses the term mindset to describe the way people think about ability and talent. Dweck delineates between two different mindsets that exist on a continuum. The first is the fixed mindset, which suggests that your abilities are innate and unchangeable. The second is a growth mindset, which views it as something you can improve through practice. In a fixed mindset, you view failure as permanent, but with a growth mindset, you see failure as a chance to learn and even pivot. Those with a fixed mindset are more likely to view critical feedback as a personal attack, while those with a growth mindset will see it as a chance to improve, where they can develop new systems. With a fixed mindset, you're more likely to choose easier tasks and put in minimal effort. After all, if talent is fixed, why bother improving? Why even try? But with a growth mindset, you're more likely to embrace challenging tasks and work hard to improve. Those with a fixed mindset are likely to give up when they face an obstacle. Meanwhile, those with a growth mindset will view obstacles as a chance to experiment and solve problems. In a fixed mindset, the focus is on measurable accomplishments. But with a growth mindset, the focus is more on a journey of continual improvement. With a fixed mindset, you're less likely to take creative risks. But with a growth mindset, creative risks are simply a way to innovate and improve. Ultimately, your mindset influences everything from creative risk-taking to how you view feedback to whether or not you finish difficult tasks. And in the end, it's one of the greatest factors in determining whether or not you grow and improve in your abilities.
Okay, so obviously there was a reflection on the screen from there, but I will obviously share that in the group afterwards. But as you'll see from that, there is a very definitive difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And the purpose of today is to make you really think about what kind of mindset do I have when I'm faced with challenges. How do I deal with them? When I'm faced with a little bit of adversity, is it my instant reaction to just retract into myself and think, well, I can't do that? Well, if you can't do it, you need to learn to get better at it. That's the difference. So I've just made some notes. That I'm going to give you some examples. And basically, what all these examples have done, they've given you examples of a scenario and common examples of a fixed mindset. And then it gives you an example of how somebody with a growth mindset would flip that around and how they would then deal with it. So these are 10 common mindset examples of somebody with a fixed mindset. Now, while I'm talking about this, I'm not saying you have to share it in here and share it in this thread, but I want you to really, really honestly think and have a bit of self-reflection here and honestly think, how would I deal with that? Like, is that something I would do? Because a lot of people in here will have a fixed mindset because it's probably not something that you've ever addressed before. And being in an environment and being around people that have a growth mindset should and will have a positive effect on you. Okay, so first one, somebody with a fixed mindset will think, well, I'm either good at something or I'm not. So they'll say, well, they can do parties because they're good at them. I can't do parties. Somebody with a fixed mindset is going to say, well, I just can't do it. So this statement is limited thinking at its most basic level, and it's a great place to start on being able to grow. How do you know you can't improve on something unless you try and do it? So somebody with a fixed mindset would think, right, I can't do that, end of story. Somebody with a growth mindset, if I'm not good at something, I can always come better through practice. Now, how many times do we tell, if you've got children, how many times do you tell your children that? How many times do you tell your friends that if they're trying to learn something? But how often and not do we not do it for ourselves? Like, how it's so easy to give other people that advice and say, just keep trying, you'll be amazing. But then as adults, we become conditioned from the world that we live in to go, well, I can't do that. Well, let me tell you, I'm here to tell you that you can, okay? Okay, second one. I can't learn now. It's too late. So I'm older. I can't learn a new skill. What a load of rubbish. You can never, ever, ever, ever stop learning. Literally be a sponge every single day in your life. It's never, I repeat, never too late to become a learner. This is a notion back of not only the growth mindset, but a lifelong learning mindset. As the old saying goes, the day we stop learning is the day we stop living. By and large, this is how learning happens in the digital age. Thanks to the open internet and the world of online education, we can learn something just in time as opposed to just in case. So what that means is, if you don't think you can literally do, I am here to tell you, right, you can literally do anything you want to do. If in your life, if you think, right, I want to climb a mountain, you can't at the minute because we're on social distancing. But if you think, right, I want to write a book, I want to learn karate, Nicola Wilson, because you've just come on, my love. I hope you don't mind me using you as an example. If you want to study to do something, if you want to be a superstar director in Scentsy, you absolutely can do that. So, first of all, it starts with a peer realising it's never too late to learn a new skill. Okay, so the alternative which a growth mindset would have is I can learn whatever I want, when I need to, exactly when I need to learn it. Okay, third example. There's no point in trying if I'm going to fail. Okay, if you want to be successful in life and in business, you have to become comfortable with getting things wrong. You have to become comfortable with failing. Because if you look at some of the biggest entrepreneurs, some of the most successful people in the world, Simon Cowell, I always like to use him as an example because he openly admits he failed at his businesses like so many times before he got successful. He's now one of the richest people in the world. Richard Branson, he's another one that openly admits he tried loads of different things before he got his success. J.K. Rowling, she was turned down by like 15 publishing houses or something before somebody signed her and Harry Potter got published. Hello! How big is Harry Potter? Like, imagine at her first hurdle and she failed, she thought, well, I'm just giving up now. I don't think, obviously, she would have been where she is now. So, true, you might fail. You might fail multiple times. You might fail so spectacularly that it paralyses you and leaves you wondering where to go next. So, here again, we are dealing with the face of fear, rearing its ugly head and laughing at our efforts. But every failure we face is an opportunity to look at a situation in a whole new light. So the question, in this case, and this can be adapted to your Scentsy business, I found this online last night, but I wrote it I changed it into my own words so it sounded like me. So in this question, in this case, it will determine every single move you make from now on. And what you have to think is, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want your Scentsy business to work? How badly do you want to be a success in this business? Are you going to let some virus that we don't know about come in, swoop in out of nowhere, and kill your business? I don't think so. I'm certainly not. I know lots of you on here are certainly not, and that is what you have to keep telling yourself. How badly do you want this, okay? Growth mindset. I see failures as opportunities to learn, to reassess, and to do better next time. Okay. Chumbawamba, I love it. I get knocked down. I'm not going to sing at you, but I get knocked down. I get back up again. Always. Okay, next point. I always struggle with... Okay. Arguably, the main driving principle of a new thought movement could be summed up in the famous words, I think, therefore I am. Which means your mindset is so self-affirming, your mind is such a powerful tool, it will literally believe what you tell it. If you tell it that, if we believe we're going to struggle with something, we will permanently close off that part of our brain that could potentially help us to understand it better. Yeah, that song's it. We'll find it at the end. I'll YouTube it. We can play it at the end. The limits we impose on ourselves through sheer force of cognitive brain therapy will be tremendously powerful when they drive us to either struggle or improve. So, what that means in I don't want to say in layman terms, but in simple terms that people like me need to understand. If you tell yourself you can't do something, then you won't. Like, it is as simple as that. It is as simple as telling yourself you will be successful. Telling yourself you can get through this period. Telling yourself you are going to have a strong online business at the end of this, whatever we're going through, and you will do it. Do not let... Right, this is another subject that Lisa's going to talk about, but we did say that some of our lives are going to overlap, so it's fine. You literally need to... Tanya Allwood, I saw you put this. Watch the news, as in watch Boris and watch what he's talking about. Anything else is just noise. Anything else is people's social media opinions. And I'll read that in a minute, Kida. Yes, you need to tell yourself you can recruit. You need to tell yourself you can get sales. You need to tell yourself that you can do all these things, and you will. Okay. Growth mindset alternative to that scenario is, I can always do better at something if I want to, but it will take effort. Okay, this is a really good one. I feel threatened or intimidated by the success of others. Okay. Why are we so determined to be put out by the prosperity of others? If anything, it's something we should be celebrating. Why? Because more often than not, these sensational stories are all about people just like us. Average, everyday, ordinary folks who knew what they wanted and weren't willing to stop until they got it. This serves to remind us that such potential is an inherently human trait and something that is accessible to all of us rather than a chosen few. Oh my God, when I found this last night, that literally leapt out of my laptop at me. I have a new team, he signed up on Thursday. Boom, amazing, well done my love. Okay, when you see other people doing well, sometimes somebody with a fixed mindset, the green-eyed monster might rear its ugly head and you think, well, why am I not doing that? Don't do that. Be their biggest bloody cheerleader and actually dig deep and think, right, if they can do it, I can do it. You need to use other people's success. If you have got, that is Scentsy spirit, Kida, exactly. But somebody with a fixed mindset will feel threatened and intimidated by it. Somebody with a growth mindset will look at it and think, oh, that is, I'm going to read this line again. I didn't write this, I'm just reading it. This is an inherently human trait and something that is accessible to all of us rather than a chosen few. Every single person, if they want it badly enough and they want to adapt their mindset to I can't think of the word. Basically, it is the power. I'm coming back to Disney now. The power is within all of us. I think that was like Brave or something. Frozen, one of them. I don't know. But basically, the power. No, you've just got to unlock the power within. That is it. Okay, so growth mindset alternative. When I see others succeed, it makes me think that I can too. What did these people do that made them so successful, and how can I do it too? That is how you adapt it to a growth mindset. Okay. A fixed mindset next term. I can't make this any better. The growth, so basically, somebody with a growth mindset will always be looking for ways to improve. Even the greatest minds in history who have engineered the world around us ask themselves, how can I make this better? It means that no matter how exceptional something turns out, those who debrief their processes and outcomes diligently are those who understand improvement is indeed all in our mindset. So somebody with a fixed mindset would look at a situation and go, well, that's that then. Can't do anything about that. Can't change it. Yes, you can. Somebody with a growth mindset would look at it and think, right, what could I have done better? What could I improve on? How can I carry on moving forward? And how can I carry on learning? Okay. When we finish today, I'm going to share the video in the group. I'm going to share some examples, some images in the group of examples of a fixed and a growth mindset. And I'm going to share all these notes as well. Okay. Next point. My current abilities are the measure of my outcomes. So this is similar to number 2. It comes back to getting rid of the notion that you've got fixed intelligence. For a long time, we've been researching the brain and how it works. Let me just make this red. And we understand that it changes as much as we use it. Your brain is a muscle. The more you use it, the more you exercise it, the more it's going to function, the better it's going to function. So we do this by continually finding ways to improve and enhance what we know and what we do. In doing so, you will shift your results. So, again, in simple terms, be a sponge. There is literally a whole internet's worth, a whole World Wide Web's worth, to quote Uncle Bryn from Gavin and Stacey. If you don't watch Gavin and Stacey, you're going to be like, what the hell is she on about? But there is a whole internet's worth of information out there. So your abilities right now are not your abilities. The example I'm going to give you, I am the biggest technophobe in the world. I'm all right once I know how to do something, but it doesn't come naturally to me. So, things like doing PowerPoint presentations. When I did my PowerPoint presentation for World Tour, which I didn't actually get to do, but it doesn't matter because I've sent it to Holly digitally, I was literally on top of the world that day because I was like, I've learned something and I've achieved something for myself. So, your current abilities are not the measure of what your outcome is going to be because you can always be learning. Okay, so what a growth mindset would think is my determination and effort is the measure of your outcome, not your current ability. So it all comes down to the amount of effort and the amount of work that you want to put in. Okay, next one. How many more have I got? 3 more. Okay, so I already know everything I need to know. Okay, so this is such a dangerous assumption. What it sounds like more is someone who's decided that they want to stop growing. Historically, how many times have we claimed everything that was ever going to be invented had already been invented? Imagine if everybody had that mindset. Like, there'd never be any growth. There'd never be any evolution. There'd never be any... I certainly wouldn't be sitting here now talking to you guys over a mobile phone, which pretty much runs my life. You know, the internet and the power of what we can do now. Just think where we'll be in another 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Imagine what our children and our children's children, imagine the technology that they're going to be dealing with. If the people that developed this technology had a fixed mindset, nothing would ever change. So, you do not already know everything that you need to know. Look at what's happened since the day of the first car was invented. How things have changed. It benefits us to approach life believing that no matter how smart we are or how smart we might think we are, we always, always, always have something to learn. Okay, so the growth mindset alternative to that would be, I enjoy learning and growing, and learning is a lifetime pursuit for me. Okay. Right, okay, a couple more. I love this one. I love. This is a little bit of nature versus nurture. Okay, the next point is, I've always been told that I can't. I'm going to read what's there and then I'm going to put it in my own terms as well. When a young impressionable brain is continuously bombarded with a specific notion again and again, it can become an unconscious truth for that brain. Unfortunately, a destructive or limiting idea can also become true for that brain. We can't blame ourselves or others for being surrounded by the beliefs we are brought up with when we are young. What we need to understand right now is that someone else's opinion of us doesn't need to be our reality. No matter what we believe about ourselves, because of what someone else in the past has told us, we can change those beliefs into ones that empower us rather than hold us back. That literally makes me emotional. It gives me goosebumps because, rightly or wrongly, or whether it's the way of the world, from being children, we are told certain things, you do things a certain way, you follow a certain path, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Okay. And as a parent, hear something often enough, you start to believe it. Exactly. So imagine being told, if you've been told your whole life, well, you can't do that, you can... Oh, it's... I can't see it. God, this is gold, and I'm going to try, Lace, not to elaborate on this too much, because I know, obviously, again, this is something that we're going to overlap on, but if you're told from a young age, you can't do something, you can't do something, you can't do something, then guess what? Your brain's going to start to believe it. If you tell yourself, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, do not let is what conditioned up there stop you from living your best life, from evolving into the person that you want to be, because those beliefs can be changed. And it's something now as a parent, I am so mindful of the language I use around my children. I don't mean swearing, but like the positive, by telling them I love them every single day, by encouraging them, by telling them they can do something, that they can achieve it. The children and the next generation are literally sponges. Like the environments that they're in, the circumstances that they're in, the language that they hear, what they're hearing, they are literally sponges and they soak it up. So you need to make our environments a positive, powerful one. Not just for, I'm not here like to talk about the next generation of kids, that is something I do feel really passionately about. But for you need to make the environment that you're in, the people that you surround yourself with, the self-love that you give yourself, the way that you talk to yourself, you need to make it a positive environment, because eventually what you tell yourself, you can recondition those thoughts that have been conditioned up there from when you were little, okay? So some people might say, you can't do that, you can't run a network marketing business, no one ever earns any money doing that, it's a load of rubbish, da 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 da. And every other shitty excuse, every other shitty thing that we've heard about our industry that we know isn't true. So, like, literally, you can change whatever has been conditioned in there. So, the growth mindset alternative is, no one knows my potential. I must discover it for myself, independent from outside opinion and influence. And it is so true. There's another little short link I'm going to share as well when I finish, which is by Rachel Hollis. We all know how much me and Lisa love Rachel Hollis. She's got a little short YouTube video, and in that there is it's the promotional video for her book, and it's probably about a minute long, and it's her talking over it, and I literally have watched it over and over and over and over again. And in it she says, nobody, like, literally, honestly, this makes me emotional. Nobody gets to tell you how big your dreams are. Nobody. Not your family, not your friends, not your peers, not your colleagues. Nobody in your life knows how much the burning desire that burns inside of you, your dreams are yours and yours alone, and nobody gets to tell you how big they can be. Nobody gets to tell you what you can achieve. You have that power. So nobody gets to make that choice for you. Nobody gets to make that decision. And it's something I feel really passionate about, because it literally makes me so sad and almost angry that people would want to do that for people. I cannot bear when somebody is passionate and excited about something in their life, whatever it may be, and then somebody else comes along and goes, well, that's a load of rubbish, why would you want to do that? Like, why would you do that to somebody? That is just one of the most unkind things I could ever think of. Just support people's dreams and cheerlead them. Like, oh, I'm getting off on a bit of a tangent here, but I'll share Rachel Hollis's short YouTube thing at the end. Okay. A visual reminder to grow. So this is how this is tied up. So did you find these mindset examples familiar? If so, we hope you can now have an idea that whether in yourself or someone you care about, we can transform your mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. It's up to you to discover how to do it, but you'll find the way when you begin to believe that you can, when you begin to believe that you can make that mindset shift. So, use it to inspire others and have lively conversations about how to make the growth mindset. That's a training thing. Okay, so basically it says your mindset ultimately will determine better learning and better living overall. Okay, so encouragement and support could give that one person the confidence they need to go for it. Exactly, 100%. And on that topic, I also found another little short YouTube video I'm going to share at the end. So, to summarise, ladies, when we're finished, I'm going to share all the things that I've talked about in here so you can watch them back at your leisure. There's one that I found last night about a little boy that was discouraged at school, and then a teacher found something in him, and I'm not going to let too much away, but it was really powerful. I'm going to share the one that I shared at the beginning, which talks about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And I'm going to share the Rachel Hollis one as well, which, oh my God, even just thinking about it now, it just gives me chills, because that woman literally speaks to my soul, and she just speaks so much truth. And her book, Go Wash Your Face, if you haven't read it, like literally read it, order it immediately, go and order it. It's just incredible. Listen to the audiobook. It's amazing. But what I want you to do, what Lisa and I decided we wanted to do for a little bit of a takeaway from today, you don't have to share it in here, you don't have to share it with us, you can share it with us if you want to, but what we want you to do from here, I want you to go away and I want you to think of three scenarios in your Scentsy business which might have been deemed as a bit challenging. It might have been if a delivery was late, or you had a damaged item, or you had a difficult customer, and I want you to think honestly about when that came in, what was your first thought? Like, how did you deal with it? Did you deal with it in the way of somebody with a fixed mindset? And if you did, think about how you would have dealt with that differently, or when you, I don't know, the first time you asked for a party and somebody said no. Think about how you would deal with it differently if you had a growth mindset. So that's just a bit of self-reflection, and I want you to go away and think today of scenarios in your Scentsy business when things might have been deemed a bit challenging, and the way that you dealt with them, so basically go away and do you think that the bottom line is, I want you to go away and think, do I have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Be honest with yourself, because as you've just heard, if you're not honest with yourself, you're never going to grow. I'm not asking you to share this publicly. I'm not asking you to share it with me and Lisa. You can if you want to, but be honest. Do you look at other people's success and do you get jealous? Or do you find it intimidating? Do you compare yourself to others? Do you do all these things that we've given examples of here? If you do, it's not the end of the world, because we're here to teach you how to change that. So, the takeaway from today, watch the YouTube videos again that I'm going to share in here, and go away and have a bit of self-reflection. And if you really want to grow and you really want to develop, you have to be honest with yourself. So I want you to go away and I want you to think of examples and think, do I have a fixed mindset, honestly, or do I have a growth mindset? And then tomorrow, we'll be back about the same time. Like, I've kept it within 30 minutes, which is what I wanted to do. And we'll be back tomorrow with Lisa with our next topic. And hopefully, if you've had a bit of self-reflection, we can then move on to the next topic. So, I will love you and leave you for now. Lots of love. Have an amazing day. Keep rocking. Keep being awesome. And remember, you can achieve anything you want to achieve. You just have to work on that mindset. See you later.